Our first step is going to be to install the quarter turn fasteners into the reflector assembly. Our next step is to install the lamp holders into the reflector assembly. Our next step is to install the ballast to the reflector assembly. Our next step is to trim the wires to the proper lengths, as this is a marine rated fixture, so solid wire is only allowed for such a length on the fixture itself. Our next step is to add the splice connectors to the end of the leads so that we can add stranded and tinned wire running from the ballast over to the lamp holder ends. Now it will be necessary to cut the wire links to approximately 20 inches long in preparation to wire the ballast to the reflector assembly. Now we're going to connect the lamp holder leads into the lamp holder from the ballast. It doesn't matter which side they go to, as long as both blues go to one lamp holder and both reds go to the other lamp holder. Now we're going to wire up the opposing leads to the opposite end of the reflector assembly. You will need to use the wiring diagram that will be attached in the instruction sheet. On this common end of the reflector assembly, there will be jumpers attached from one lamp holder jumping to the opposite lamp holder. Now we're going to prepare the power leads for the power that's feeding into the ballast assembly, which is where the customer will connect to in the field. Now we're going to install the cable hanging assemblies that jump from the reflector to the housing side of the lighting fixture. Now, using cyanoacrylate, commonly known as super glue, we're going to run a bead of this around the perimeter of the lens in preparation to install the gasket. immediately following, we're going to install the T-shaped gasket into the groove of the lens. Using a smoothing action, try to smooth out the gasket so that it sits down flush and level in the groove in the lens assembly itself. Now we're going to install the lens hanging cable assemblies into the lens itself. Now we're going to attach the ground wire assemblies to the ends of the housing assembly. Now we're going to install the mounting leg assemblies into the housing. Now we're going to install the W brackets on top of the mounting legs. Hardware that retains the W brackets to the mounting legs and housing assembly. We're also going to be attaching one of the ground wires to the mounting leg assembly. We're going to add the additional jumper to where the ground is attached to the mounting leg assembly to jump from one end of the housing to the other. This allows for the fixture to have a continuous ground from the entry hubs throughout the entire fixture length. Now we're going to install the quarter turn fasteners into the W bracket assemblies. Using a downward pushing force to make sure they snap into position. Now we're preparing to attach the reflector assembly to the main housing assembly. Using the cable hanger assemblies that were previously attached to the reflector assembly, these will be attached to the housing assembly. Right. Now we're just going to kind of bundle and wrap the leads that the customer will hook up to in the field and install the reflector assembly to the main housing assembly using the quarter turn fasteners, making sure that the W brackets rest inside the lip of the reflector assembly. By using a downward force and a quarter turn, the reflector assembly is now installed. Okay, now we're going to conduct the high pod test. All right, pass the test, it's complete. Install lamps, test lamps, into the reflector assembly, and using a tester that is set for the proper voltage, test the unit for proper operation to make sure the ballast is outputting properly. It's recommended to switch it off and on several times. Now the test lamp can be removed from the fixture in preparation to install the lens assembly. Now we're going to attach the lens cable to the reflector assembly using a screwdriver to install the cable assembly and gently tap to make sure that they're in place. Now we're going to place the lens onto the unit itself in preparation to install the latches. Install latches in all 10 openings of the housing assembly in the grooves provided. Using some type of anti-seize, copper coat is recommended, or some other type of Teflon application. Apply a small layer to the pipe plug. Install the coated plug assembly into the hub. The unit is now complete and prepared for packaging.